Hey guys, how are you? I am Stephanie K, and I just really want to share today about attraction marketing, the importance of it, and how it has literally helped excel not only my online presence and business growth, but my team's online presence and their business growth. So, the first thing I want to talk about is where do you start with it? Like, what does that look like? Things like that. So many people join this industry and join this business, and they click that, become a promoter button, and they're like, okay, now what do I do? So I just kind of want to talk about a couple of things on what not to do and not to worry about, and then a couple of just really key components on creating you, okay? And that's the biggest thing with this industry and with any business really, is just creating you and understanding who you are. So you want to know like 5 things about yourself that you can kind of put into your social media presence and just kind of brand yourself with. And these are things that over time your audience will know about you. Like they'll know, like they go to, my page and they know like I am super into holistic health. I am certified in holistic health. I am all things non-toxic and things like that. They know I'm a mom of 2. They also know very much that one of my children is or one of my kids is a crazy mini me toddler, and she's just like my miniature self. Like they know her, they feel like they connect with her even. They know that I'm super into positive mindset and mental health. They know that I am literally just this like laid back person that just doesn't really give a crap about a lot of things that don't matter. Like I'm that person, and people know this about me, that I'll, live in yogas and I'll live in just comfortability. Like if it's too uncomfortable for me, or if I have to, or if it's complex or anything like that, that doesn't jive well with me. So a lot of times you see that I am branding myself as comfortable. Like I'm in my yogas, I'm in my oversized tops, things like that. They know that I have taken on, some new love for growing gardens and growing vegetables and just kind of like, all things like that. And they know that, Erin builds modern houses, and they know that we travel a lot. Like if you have followed me for even as much as a month, you know all this about me, and you keep seeing those things tie into my brand, tie into my postings, tie into my Instagram stories and things like that. So that's one thing I really want you guys to think about, is what are 5 things that just really scream who you are. Whether that be you're a farmer's wife, or maybe you're super into cooking and you want to just share all about your cooking things like that. There's things about you that your audience should be able to understand and know about you after following you for a very short period of time. Okay, so that's step number 1, is find those 5 things, right? Your feed is your business. So what I like to tell a lot of, or not a lot, I like to tell everybody coming into this business when they ask me like, okay, well, how can I shape up my social media? Like your social media feed is sort of like that first interview. If you're going to a job interview, maybe you are with corporate America, wherever you're at, and you're going into an interview and you want to get this job, like your first impression matters to people. It matters to that person. So you're going to go in there, you're going to, look good. You're going to go in there with positivity. You're going to go in there, with confidence, right? So think about that and relate into your social media feed. People should be coming to your feed and they should see the best version of you. They should be seeing your authenticity. They should be seeing nothing negative. Like you don't walk into a job interview, bitching about the person who cut you off on the way to the job interview, right? Like you don't, that negativity has to go away. So a couple things I want to share on what not to do is, if you even think about posting negativity, like erase it and start over. If your post isn't positive, if it isn't inspiring, if it isn't going to be like motivating somebody, not really motivating, but inspiring somebody, if it isn't helping somebody, or if it isn't a positive message, like rewrite that stuff. If it's not telling a story, like rewrite that, and start over. Like the biggest thing that I tell people is you have to step outside of that negative mindset or that fearful mindset. And if you have a bad day, it's okay to have a bad day. That kind of stuff shouldn't be going on your posts. Like, oh my gosh, like I woke up in just a crappy mood. My husband did this and it really irritated me. Like things like that drive people away. When I see that kind of stuff, I instantly unfollow them, sometimes even unfriend them, because I have created such a good space in my mind that I like to protect that. And seeing that kind of stuff seeps in. If you see that kind of stuff on a regular basis, that seeps in. So think about that. Like, what kind of things are in front of you all the time? And what does it do to your mind? So you want to be that positive influence for other people. You want to be bringing people back to your page. And if you're constantly negative, they're not going to want to come back to your page, right? So a couple of other things, and I have notes here. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at notes. So when you are posting, let's talk about posting a little bit. Consistency is key. People need to see that you are open at all times. That doesn't mean that you're on your phone messaging people 24/7 in the middle of the night as soon as you wake up. Like, that doesn't mean that, but they do need to see that you are consistent. Okay. So your product, they need to see that you are a product of your product and that you do take your product every single day. So I like to show my daily life and you're going to hear me go back and forth on things because I'll have a thought and I'm so squirrely, and it's fine. So you're going to see a lot of my daily activities and a lot of my everyday life happening in my stories. Okay. You're going to see me putting in my Instagram stories and my Facebook stories, my 3 steps. People, my audience, see that I take my step 1, 2, 3 every single morning, whether that's taking a picture, talking about it, whether that's talking about it, like showing my face. Get creative, show people your real life, show people what it's doing for you, things like that. Like every single morning, that 3 steps is in my stories. You will not catch a day where it's not in my Instagram stories, period. They see that I play with my daughter throughout the day. They see that sometimes I help. I mean, he doesn't really need help right now, but sometimes they see that I'm helping Dawson with the schoolwork, things like that. They see that we're going on walks. They see something funny that Amora does. Like, they see my life. They see me. They see my gardening. Like, they saw my, starting from seeds, building up my garden, and where they're at right now. Like, they see my greenhouse. They see all that everyday stuff, like that nitty gritty everyday stuff. They see that. And stories are important for that because it shows you're a real person. Okay. It shows a lot more about who you are, versus the highlight reels in our posts. Okay. So going back to postings, you want to, again, create that story, create a positive post and stay consistent with it. They need to see that you're posting. Like, if they see you post, let's say you have somebody who's following you and they're very interested in what you're doing because they see your consistency and they see you taking your products and things like that. But then all of a sudden, one day you don't post and the next day you don't post and a week goes by and you haven't posted. What's going on in their head is they must not be doing this anymore. And, I saw this other person, Joe Blow, over here doing the same thing. I'm going to go ask this person questions about this product because what she was doing got me interested. It's either going to go one way or the other. They're going to go to someone else, or they're going to be like, that must not be something that is realistic to maintain or whatever. So I'm out. And then they're out of the picture as far as potentially being somebody that could become one of your customers or even one of your business partners, right? So that consistency is key. I like to post between 1 and 3 times on Facebook per day, 1 time on Instagram per day, or at least about 4 times a week on Instagram per day, but once a day is really good. Again, live in your stories. Show that real life, show what's going on, show your workouts. I know lately I've been showing my workouts in fast mode every single day that I do my workouts, and showing my audience that I am keeping up with that, you know what I mean? And that's part of who I am right now. Like, I'm really into health and fitness and, all things health-wise, right? So be consistent. They want to see that you're there. And then the next thing about your post is you want it to be inviting. So the first thing that people see when it comes to people's posts is their picture. I'm not saying get up every single day and put on your face and curl your hair and all these things, because everyone knows I don't do that. I might get up and put makeup on like once a week, right? Like typically, like I shower, okay, I wash my hair like once a week. Like, let's be real here. I'm your very laid back, like, you know, messy hair, natural type of a person. And everyone knows that about me. In fact, a lot of people make fun of me for that in a fun way, like my friends do. It's fun. But your pictures still need to be inviting. When I take my pictures, I'm in front of a window. Lighting is going to be your number one key when it comes to taking your pictures. Take it in front of a window. And if you have clutter like I do, you're not looking at my floors right now for a reason. If you have clutter like I do, move it out of the frame. Like, simple as that. Get yourself in front of a window so that you can have some good natural light that's very well lit. The worst things that I will scroll by is if I see like a dark and grainy and very like unthought of picture, because pictures do matter. That's that number one. People get drawn in by the picture. And then once they see that well lit, you know, picture that caught their eye, they're gonna read your post. So that's step two then. You want your post to start out with something something that's gonna catch their attention. What is catchy? Like a sentence, like if I'm gonna be talking about my health journey, I relate to a lot of moms, okay? I relate to a lot of tired and exhausted moms, things like that. So a lot of my posts, if I'm talking about my product, what it's done for me or what have you, I will start out my post with something, catchy. Like, for example, I was tired, exhausted, and stressed 3 years ago, or whatever it is. In that right there, like, instantly moms can relate to that. Like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm stressed, but like that picture that drew me in, like she looks so happy and energetic. Let me read on, because now you've got my attention, right? So you want to tell that story, like, I was tired, exhausted, whatever, because, and here's my why, because, you know, I was chasing around my, you know, crazy toddler all over the place while trying to get my son to all of the sports activities at his age. And there's that why. And then it was like, you know, I really needed to, you know, get that energy back because of that. That's a why. I really, I learned that, you know, nutrition was going to be the center core of all of that. And here's why. Like, you know, tell that story, because that keeps drawing people in. One of the biggest things you need to know is when you're telling a story in your posts, you want to keep drawing people in, because you want to have people read all the way through. You want to keep their attention all the way through. I can't even tell you how many posts that I'll start reading and they'll lose me. Like, I'm already over reading this novel because it's not even drawing me in anymore. And then I scroll past, I don't even finish reading it. You don't want that to happen to your stuff. Not only does it screw up your algorithm, because when you are looking at someone's posts and reading it, Facebook is very, very smart with their algorithms. It will know based off of how long, like if you're scrolling, things like that, if you've even went through someone's whole post. If you don't read somebody's full post when you start reading it, it knows, and it's now it's gonna say, okay, that wasn't great content. I'm gonna take away a little bit more visibility from that person, right? So you don't want that to happen to your stuff, okay? Let's see here. You want to be transparent too. You want to tell those people why you were exhausted or whatever. I keep going back to that because that's a huge part of my story. Like, I was super exhausted. I was always stressed. You know, everyone knew that about me, and the people who knew me back then, prior to starting my products and gaining all that energy and confidence back, they didn't even want to be around me because I just wasn't a happy person. Nothing about the way I lived was happy, right? So when people follow that journey with me and they see my stories and they see that transition from where I was then versus now, they're like, okay, I knew that Stephanie, and this new Stephanie is like oh my gosh, or like, I can relate to that. Like, one of your biggest things is you want to be able to relate to people. You want to be able to tell that story in a relatable way. Okay, so there's not a lot of people who can relate to certain ways of saying things, but if you can kind of touch people's feelings, like, just think about you, put yourself in that person's shoe. Like, what, when you were exhausted, tired, and whatnot, like, what kind of post would have caught your attention? Like, what would have helped you? What would have inspired you? Would it have been watching somebody's journey go from basically your current state to like happy and confident and feeling good in the swimming suit and being able to be present for their kids and all that? Would that touch your feelings? I'm guessing it would. That's the kind of post you need to throw out there. Okay, so that's post. Okay, you want to have your attraction picture, meaning good lighting, good angles, and get a preset, you guys. So I use Lightroom Mobile. You really want your pictures to also create a theme, a color scheme. Okay, so you want to have a cohesive, and this is especially important when it comes to your Instagram postings. You don't want, here's a black and white picture, my next picture has an orange tone to it, my next picture has a blue tone to it. You don't want to be all over the place as far as color scheme. So find a look that you love. You can go to Etsy, you can just Google Lightroom mobile presets and like find a look that you're liking that's gonna work with the lighting that you typically use, and spend the $2 or $3 to buy that preset and start using that preset. Put that filter over all of your pictures. Adjust, tweak where you need to. There's a whole nother different training on how to use Lightroom mobile and import presets and all that, but make your pictures pop. Make your pictures have that theme that, like, if somebody sees your picture, just the color of it, just what it looks like, they know, oh, that's Steph's picture. Like, I already know it's Steph's picture without even seeing who posted it. You know what I mean? So you have to have that good picture, good lighting, good angle. Declutter your back. Like, it doesn't take more than 30 seconds to move. Like, I have a pile of crap right there. Like, you know what I mean? So declutter, do that, and then your wordings need to be able to continue to draw people in and continue to touch people's feelings and be relatable. That's going to be one of your biggest keys when writing your post is, are you telling a story that can relate to somebody? Are you sounding like an ad? You know what I mean? Like, stay away from posts like, do you feel exhausted? Have you been tired ever since you've had your children? Like, have you, like, you know what I mean? Like, do you lose weight? Like, when I see a post that starts out with, are you exhausted? Like, that first sentence right there, like, okay, they're gonna sell me on something, scroll on through. Like, you don't wanna be selling something to somebody, right? Like, this isn't what we're about. Like, we are about helping people. So how can we help people? Like, why are you here? Why are you using the products you're using? Because you are passionate about it one way, shape, or another, and there was a reason that drew you to it. That there's a reason why you love it. There's a reason why you love it so much you decided to promote it, right? So think about all of that. Get into your own feelings so that you can just try and inspire and help other people through your postings. Okay, tell that story. Be confident, right? Things like that. Be seen, again, I said this before, but be seen as your best self. Your postings, it's okay that your posts can be your highlight reel. Your real life, your what's happening, like, and here's the thing when I say that. I don't want you to misconstrue the term highlight reel with I'm being fake, okay? That's two completely different things. What you are posting should be real, should be authentic, should be you, all those things, but it should be the best versions of you. It should be you trying to inspire people, you trying to be positive, you sharing your story, you just helping other people, right? That's what your post should be about. But then again, when it comes to your stories, that's where I get a little bit more into, like, here's my real me, like, here is me playing with my daughter, like, here is like me being like, okay, I am going on 8,000 days of social distancing and I really need my nails done. Like, so what do I do? Like, who sells nails? Like, that's something that I personally wanted and I figured out, and I was able to buy some nails from somebody. You know what I mean? So, like, be interactive with your life. when it comes to your stories, okay? Oh, so I mentioned earlier, like, you don't have to get up and get all dolled up every single day and do makeup. Like, you don't have to do that. But if there is a day that you get up and get dolled up and whatever, like, take the extra 30 minutes of it out of your day, throw on 3, 4, 5 different outfits, go to a couple different windows or step outside or whatever, and do just a tiny miniature photo shoot of yourself. And now you have content for the next week of pictures. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be all dolled up every single day to take your pictures, right? Let's see here. So just make sure that you are being relatable to people and not looking like an ad. A couple things I want to talk about, and I see this happen so often that I just want to make sure that you know this is not something that I've ever done, okay? We do have a thread of different people's before and after pictures in one of our team pages, okay? And that's okay. But here's the thing, when you first start out, you might not have your own before and after pictures. You're also starting your own health journey, right? And I didn't, okay? So when I started, I never joined to have, this rock and bod. I joined because I tried the products before and it gave me energy. It relieved my stress and it really helped me become present for my kids. And that was something that I could talk about. So like, when I was posting, and I still do this, like, I post all about where I was and where I am now when it comes to my energy, when it comes to being present for my kids, when it comes to having the patience with my kids, especially my youngest, who is an absolute crazy little miniature version of me. She's exhausting, you know what I mean? I love her to death. Everyone knows that. But like, I was able to tell that story every day and share with people like, wow, my 3 simple steps has just allowed me to be present for them. It's given me the energy that I never knew I could have. Like, things like that touch people's feelings. I have my own before and after pictures now. So if I ever were to post a before and after picture, it is always going to be mine, because my audience is going to relate more to me than relating to me posting a picture of a before and after of someone they have no idea who it is. It doesn't relate to them. I relate to them, right? So my advice to you is show yourself. Show yourself. If you want to share other people's before and afters, that's not a big no, but make your post be about you, all those things, and maybe throw other people's in the comments. That's how I would get around with that, okay? Don't look like an ad. If you can screenshot it from somebody else and post it, and nobody would know the difference whether you were the first poster or that person was, that means it looks like an ad, and that means it's a big no-no. Do not post graphic pictures. Do not post big sales pictures. Don't screenshot sales emails. Those are really good informative things, but those are not things that you want to put on your social media feed. People want to see you. They come to social media to see what Stephanie's up to see what Jennifer's up to, whoever you are. They come on there to see who you are and what you're up to. They are not coming to social media to be sold. What they are doing is they are buying you, not the product. They are seeing what the product is doing for you and relating to that. And with that said, then they're like, okay, I want to feel like Stephanie. I want to, have that confidence again. I don't like the stress that I have every single day. I want to be a happier person to be around. I want to be present for my kids. Now I'm going to go ask her what she's doing. We have built this business and this organization from start to the top of this company with no cold messaging. Like, we don't teach that. I will teach the exact opposite of that. If you're doing attraction marketing properly, you should never have to cold message a single person. Does it take time? Absolutely. Do people go at different paces? Absolutely. But you have to trust that pace and you have to trust your journey. You just have to remain reputable, and you have to remain consistent, and you have to remain yourself and be authentic, because that's what people can relate to, is authenticity. And they can smell a fake from miles away. If you've ever heard the term fake it till you make it, I don't believe in it. I absolutely do not believe in it. Success is a process, right? Becoming the best version of yourself, it's a process. That consistency is what's going to get you there. So I hope that helped. That's a very, very simplified, I hope, way to explain how to utilize your social media, okay? As far as showing yourself. And as far as your postings and as far as how to utilize your stories and things like that, as far as like your growth, that's a whole nother training, things like that. But the biggest thing is people want to see you. They're coming to see you. They're coming to see what you're up to. And, you know, if you can touch their feelings, they're going to end up asking you about what's going on. Like, Steph, how did you lose 15 pounds? Like, Steph, did that sticker really do that for you? Like, Steph, I have a daughter who I feel like is, you know, Amora's twin, all over the place, but I can't even handle it and pull my hair out. How do you do it? Like, things like that are what get me in my feels, because I know that what I'm putting out there is helping other people and relating to other people. And I know that when I'm talking to people about how I went from there to here, it's gonna help them. You know what I mean? I say that with confidence because I know it with confidence, okay? So I hope that helped with the whole attraction marketing thing. If you have any questions, I mean, obviously drop comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer as much as I can. So